WavyOcho. I'm gonna react to the worst of Impact Wrestling 2007 through 2023.
The line.
TNA Wrestling is coming.
If y'all don't know, TNA is coming back next year, like early next year, January.
Back in 2020.
2024, meaning the Impact Wrestling era is officially gonna be over. TNA officially renamed to Impact Wrestling in 2017, following their identity crisis when they renamed to GFW, but also didn't. Weird times. But in those 6 years, we've seen a lot of ups and downs, the good and the bad. But we are here to discuss the very worst. I'm Tom, you're watching the Top 10 Wrestling channel, so be sure to like and subscribe right now as we discuss the worst of Impact Wrestling. So the most suggested entry onto this list was without a doubt Wrestle House. And if you aren't aware what Wrestle House was, well basically it was a weekly segment and series of segments that Impact did during the pandemic era of the company that saw wrestlers living in a house together, doing skits, competing in challenges, just interacting with each other and also wrestling. It featured the likes of Taya Valkyrie, Rosemary, Kylie Ray, Jake Something, AC Romero, Johnny Swinger and more. It came during a time in the pandemic where companies were experimenting with doing more cinematic style wrestling and more stuff outside of the empty arenas that they were doing their shows in. And if you watched any wrestling during the pandemic era and watched any of the cinematic matches, you will know that some worked and some didn't. The thing with Wrestle House was that it was actually a really interesting concept. You know, wrestlers living in a house together, wrestling in the backyard in the house, like, it's a really cool setting. However, it was just too unserious. They tried to make it comedic and it just didn't work. Like, it just wasn't funny. As well as this, the talent on there just weren't big enough stars to keep people interested in watching and wanting to see what they were doing. With the exception of Taya Valkyrie and Kylie Ray, everyone in Wrestle House was a jobber. They had matches in a ring setup in the yard, which like I said before, I think was a really cool setting and unique, but once again, they didn't have the talent to make me want to watch the matches, let alone cinematic matches. Wrestle House was short-lived during the summer of 2020, but would make a one-night return on the November 25th Thanksgiving special for Johnny Swinger's wedding. And during his wedding, there was a big mystery going on, as it was revealed that there was a plot to kill Johnny Bravo by Rosemary, but then Johnny Bravo revealed that he's no longer a virgin, and then
James Mitchell, he's bald right now. Oh man.
The woman Johnny Swinger
is marrying revealed that Johnny Bravo is no longer a virgin because she shagged him. Yes, this actually happened. I'm not just making this up. Impact Wrestling did actually air this. Wrestle House has not made a return since the end of the pandemic, and while I do think it could be an interesting concept, it's probably best to keep Wrestle House locked away forever.
Oh, and before he even said anything, Tessa Blanchard was a good wrestler. She was a good wrestler. Like, she was never a bad wrestler. It's just that she has so many like controversies in her name. You know, like, she has so many controversies. And like I heard like she was a racist. So I don't know for sure, but we about to see.
Ah yes, the story of Tessa Blanchard, one of the biggest fumblers in history. Tessa Blanchard made her debut for Impact Wrestling in 2018, and by this point had already built up her wrestling CV by quite a lot. She was a top women's wrestler in the independent scene, had competed in the Mae Young Classic against Kairi Sane in WWE, and she was considered a future star. Not too long after her Impact debut, she would win the Impact Knockouts Championship, establishing herself as the top of the women's division in Impact Wrestling very, very quickly. And she would wrestle also at the All In event very shortly after, building her stock up even further, and by this point, she was the top women's wrestler outside of the WWE already, and big things for her in the future were all but certain for her. Tessa Blanchard held the Knockouts title from August 2018 until January 2019, when she lost it to Taya Valkyrie following interference from special guest referee Gail Kim. This led to the two starting a feud and Gail Kim coming out of retirement to face Tessa Blanchard at Impact's Rebellion event. It was a banger of a match, and Tessa Blanchard won in a real passing of the torch moment. Impact Wrestling were really going all in with her, and following this feud with Gail Kim would take Tessa in a different and unique direction.
I ain't gonna lie, Gail Kim belongs in TNA, bro. It looked like she didn't fit in the WWE. In my opinion, she did not fit in the WWE, bro. She belonged in TNA, bro. Man, she belonged in TNA, bro. But like, I'm not gonna lie, like, there's so many like dream matches now that Gail Kim could have had. Like Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Bayley, who else? Becky Lynch. Like, there's so many like dream matches like Gail Kim could have had, but like, she decided she went with TNA, and she actually had a like good ass match. She has like good matches with Awesome Kong too. Awesome Kong was underrated, bro. A female wrestler.
that would raise her stock
Even further, as Tessa Blanchard would move over to the men's division and start wrestling intergender. Her first major feud wrestling against the men was with Sami Callihan, and they would main event Slammiversary 2019 with Sami picking.
And WWE don't do like intergender matches no more. I don't think WWE do intergender matches no more when men and women. They don't do that no more. TNA does that. Or Impact Wrestling, whatever. Like.
The win. The two
Would go their separate ways as Sami Callihan would go on to win the Impact World Championship, and Tessa Blanchard would build her name up more in the men's division, picking up some big wins, and naturally the destination for these two was each other once again, with Tessa Blanchard versus Sami Callihan booked for the Impact World Championship at Hard to Kill 2020. But a day before the show, Tessa was exposed. A tweet from Tessa about women supporting each other was responded to by Alison Kay, who accused her of spitting on a woman of colour and calling her a racial slur. This claim was backed up by other wrestlers who claimed to be present for it, and as well as this, claims of Tessa Blanchard bullying other wrestlers came out from other wrestlers, including Chelsea Green, Isla Dawn and Gigi Dolan, who all have their own stories. Tessa Blanchard responded denying all claims, but the backlash was immense, and it was up to Impact.
All these women ganging up on her, bro. All these women like saying like Tessa Blanchard bullied them, all this shit. All those women not jacking her.
see what they were gonna do.
And Impact would actually follow through on their plans, as at Hard to Kill, Tessa Blanchard defeated Sami Callihan to become the first woman to hold the Impact World Championship. A huge achievement, a huge moment that was hindered by alleged racism. Tessa's reign with the title also ended up being very uneventful. She defended the title against Taya Valkyrie in the first woman versus woman Impact World title match, which is cool, but not too long after she won the title, the pandemic struck and Impact went off air. Impact would announce their return for Slammiversary 2020, with Tessa Blanchard defending the title in a 5-way match. However, due to Tessa not being able to work in the States for the shows and refusing to send back the world title to Impact, her contract was terminated, the title vacated, and all of our time wasted.
Yeah, bro.
Austin Aries is a guy who is mainly known for two things in wrestling. One, his incredible in-ring ability. He worked for companies all over the world like WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, and he was a big star in a lot of them. In his prime, he was one of the best in the world. And number two, that he is notoriously a locker room troublemaker and is known for having a history with his attitude backstage and that causing problems for himself and other people. Austin Aries was synonymous for his run in TNA from 2011 until 2015, where he was a multi-time world champion, X-Division champion, and world tag team champion, and one of the greatest TNA wrestlers of all time, don't get it twisted. And he returned to TNA in 2018, and he had just recently been released by the WWE just the year previous for, you guessed it, attitude problems, and he returned to TNA as the belt collector, showing off all the various belts, titles, and championships he had won from various promotions around the world. Upon his return, he quickly won the Impact World Championship and the Impact Grand Championship, adding to his belt collection. And leading up to Bound for Glory 2018, Austin Aries would engage in a feud with Johnny Impact, the man formerly known as John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Elite, Johnny Caballero, and the two were set to have a match at Bound for Glory 2018 for the world title. And this feud was really weird because leading up to the event, the two would have various exchanges on Twitter, which blurred the lines between work and shoot. It first started when Impact tweeted out a video of an exchange between Austin Aries and Johnny Nitro, or Johnny Impact I should say, that took place on Impact. Quote the following: "Who are you this week? You Johnny Nitro? You Johnny Mundo? You your Survivor? Are you in Johnny Survivor?" A quote from the promo that Austin Aries cut on Johnny. And then John Morrison replied saying, "All you gotta do is give a microphone," and he buries himself. Austin Aries quote tweeted by saying the following: "Yes, buried in truth, steeped in arrogance, fueled by passion, and I generously spit it all over you in this Impact Wrestling World title match. In the 10 minutes given the mic, I did what you haven't been able to do in 16 years. Make fans actually care about your match. Catch." Morrison responded saying, "Ha ha ha, love that you think that. It's so far off base, I..." can't even be mad at your
delusion. You think you're the only reason people care about our match? You're entitled to your opinion, but saying it doesn't make it true. It was all well and fine, just a normal kind of Twitter feud or Twitter beef to build up a feud for wrestling, until Johnny Impact committed the cardinal sin. He called Austin Aries short. This prompted a response to a now deleted tweet from Aries that said, the form of discrimination that's still super cool. Short shaming. If I joked race, your gay look, if I fat shamed your husky wife, instant outrage. But you can predictably cut on me over my height, genetics, I don't control, and it's just funny. This tweet of course caused Aries a fair bit of backlash, but heading on to their match at Bound for Glory 2018, it was won by Johnny Impact. But then, right after the match finished, Austin Aries no-sold the finish, got up and just walked away in a very, very strange moment, and one that people thought was a shoot and that he was walking out. And well, Austin Aries was released from Impact soon after this. He wasn't seen on Impact again. This is the last time he has been seen on Impact. Austin Aries has gone on the record claiming that he was meant to return and that apparently this was all part of the feud, like he was doing this on purpose. He no-sold it as part of the feud, it was part of the storyline.
After that, you never see Austin Aries in WWE, Impact. I don't know if he ever gonna come to AEW.
which just makes
no sense. Whether it was a shoot or a work remains a mystery, but one thing's for sure, and that is that Austin Aries does not like it when you make...
So yeah, bro. Let me know what y'all think about this vid, bro. Which one do y'all think is the worst, absolutely the worst out of this vid? So yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, you know the vibes. Which checking out you are.